The NFL's mock draft for the process on Thursday night happened yesterday. Yesterday morning in Football Morning in America, Peter King unveiled his mock draft. And Peter, some things in there worthy of discussion. And look, we understand that a lot of it is just throwing a dart. A lot of it is an amalgamation of different rumors and chatter, and nobody really knows what anyone's going to do, especially this year, because without the pro day workouts, for all of the scouts to gather and the GMs and the coaches to compare notes, there isn't really a consensus about anything other than Joe Burrow being number one and Chase Young being number two in the draft. Beyond that, who the hell knows what's going to happen? That said, and we talked about Boston sports and how they've been charmed to the chagrin of Chris Sims this decade, this century. The thing that made me stop and pay attention, the possibility that if Tua Tagovailoa trickles past number 10, here come the Patriots rocketing up the board to get Tua at number 13, I think is where you had him in a flip-flop with the 49ers, Peter. What would you put a percentage chance? Do you have a gut feel? Do you think there's any realistic possibility of something like that happening?
I doubt it. I doubt it sincerely. But the only reason I did it is that in my scenario, I have Tua falling. And you know what? Tua Tagovailoa could be the third pick in this draft. He could be. I don't know that the Dolphins are going to pick Justin Herbert, but the way I do mock drafts is the way I've done them for years. Okay? I wait until close to the end. So starting about last Thursday, I called, and I would say there were 13 people who I relied on, 12 of whom are general managers, and I use one coach and a couple of other people involved. There's 2 agents and a couple of other people in and around the league. So my question to every one of them is almost all the same, okay? Because, look, I'm not asking them, so what's Baltimore doing at 27 or 28, wherever they are? We're talking about the top of the draft. And I had 3 or 4 really basic questions this year. You know, what's going to happen to Tua? How does your team see Tua? Did he pass your physical? I only had one team say that he didn't pass, that he would not, that they had taken him off their board because of medical reasons. Okay. And I heard that there were several, but I only know of one. So I asked all these teams, what's going to happen to Tua? And the biggest reaction I got is basically they didn't think that Chris Greer was going to take the chance. And I can't put it any more simply than that. That most people in the league right now, entering Thursday night, the ones who I talked to, right? So, I mean, I clearly did not talk to everybody, every team in the league. But most people who I talk to think that the Dolphins are going to steer clear of Tua. If that happens, okay, then you ask yourself, who's going to take him? You know, he's clearly one of the best prospects in this draft, and still is one of the best prospects in this draft, you know, even with his hip the way it is. But if he starts sinking, Mike, that is what I had to try to measure. Who might pick him? Now, Carolina might pick him. You know, they've got the offense that would be really good for Tua with Joe Brady. However, if they pick him, how are you going to have Teddy Bridgewater, you know, and Tua Tagovailoa on this team for at least the next 2 years? I mean, if you cut Teddy Bridgewater next year and hand the ball to Tua, it's a $20 million cap charge. So, you know, are you set up to do that? I don't think so. So then you go, okay, who else could take him? Oakland or Las Vegas at 12. Now that is a real legitimate possibility. But that is one of the other questions I asked everybody. What do you think of Gruden and Mayock taking Tua? And I didn't find much sentiment for that at all. And so then you keep going down, and I just started to wonder, okay, look at all the teams beneath Oakland at 12. Mike, you just go down those teams. And I don't see many or any teams right now that would take a risk like that in the first round of a draft on Tua Tagovailoa, except for one of Nick Saban's best friends in the world, Bill Belichick. That's what it came down to.
There's a lot of good logic there, Peter. I mean, there really is. I mean, first off, with the Tua conversation, listen, I know I might be different than most. I don't think he's a top 10 talent even without the injury, but with the injuries. But with the injuries, I just look at it and go, there's no way. You'd have to be crazy. I mean, there's rumors out there that he needs another ankle surgery here, that I hear from people that I trust around the NFL, that he might need another cleanup procedure, let alone being a small guy and plays kind of a backyardish type of game at points too. So, I mean, I would be absolutely floored, jaw on the floor, shocked, okay, just shocked if Tua ended up being picked in the top 10. I would think for sure once he hits number 10, business will be open for Tua. And to me, the big thing is, yes, I don't want to, I'm for lack of a better way to say it, what owner's going to be the sucker that's going to sit there and go, oh man, Tua's on the board. We need Tua. You're right. I don't think it's New England. I don't think he's a New England type of guy. I mean, Belichick traditionally likes bigger type pocket passing quarterbacks. Tua's not that to me. And everything I know up in New England, they like Jared Stidham. So I just don't know if that is. But you bring up a lot of good questions there. Yes, the Vegas thing is real. Also, I just throw into this, the Jacksonville Jaguars. If they're sitting there right now, right at pick 20, and if Tua's sitting there in the mid-teens, is the Khan family going to start going, man, I know we like Gardner Minshew, but this is Tua Tagovailoa from Alabama. Alabama's right down the road from Jacksonville. It's SEC country. That's one that jumps out to me at least a little bit logically.
Absolutely. I think that is an excellent point by you, Chris. And more than one team said that. But the biggest question I have, and I thought you were going to say at 9. I definitely don't think at 9. I think they're going to go for the second corner in the draft if he's available, C.J. Henderson. But sure, I do think there's a real 2 roadblocks for a possible New England pick and why I think they'd have to trade up if they wanted them. And that is Vegas at 19, Jacksonville at 20. Both of those teams, in my opinion, regardless of what they've said or how they position themselves, would be real contenders for Tua right around there.
Well, I'd be stunned if the Jaguars took Tua. I hadn't really thought about it before, and this isn't a team that has really gone out of its way in the past to pander to the locals. They had a shot at Tim Tebow. There were people in the media who thought that the Jaguars, who even reported the Jaguars were going to sign Tim Tebow, and it never happened. Local guy, right? You've got that local connection to Alabama. The other thing, too, is I feel like they want to give Gardner Minshew a full and fair shot to become the guy because the people there love him so much. So that would be a tough call if he's there at 20. And, boy, if he's there at 20, think about that. Think about how the world changes in a year from the perspective of the draft. We all thought Tua was number 1. You throw in the hip injury, you throw in Joe Burrow, and it very well could be that Tua slides and slides and slides.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.